Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Mark Parham podcast. Please follow me on Spotify. All you have to do is just type in Mark Parham podcast and just follow me. Real quick, I wanted to, let me start it off by saying this. So I've been watching a lot of politics like I do, on television. Again, MSNBC, CNN, Fox News. I look at Newsmax, a lot of the different, media outlets. And there's somebody running for president on the Republican side. His name is Vivek Ramaswamy. I think this guy is and I know this might sound crazy, but I think he's the Floyd Mayweather of the Republican Party right now. And the reason why I would say that is because this guy, he gets on these interviews. I'm just comparing it to boxing because, again, a lot of people have, certain things they have to say about Floyd Mayweather, but he gets the job done. This guy is the same way. I've been looking at him go on different interviews, podcasts, and, anytime they interview him, sometimes you get folks who are, they want that gotcha moment, like, oh, well, we exposed him or, we're going to make him look bad, especially when he gets on some of the liberal, channels, TV channels and stuff like that. And no matter where this guy goes, whether it's a podcast, television, whether it's somebody interviewing him, he always, comes out looking good. He always has, the right things to say. He knows how to argue his points. I mean, he's on top of his game. And, just looking at this guy, he's a special talent. He's somebody that, if you need somebody to come on TV and give a rebuttal about a policy or what's going on, this guy is like really on top of his game. And he's a young man. I mean, when you compare him to other politicians and stuff, I think he's only 37 right now, but he's ran successful businesses. I mean, he's got the resume. He's a person of color, if that matters to people, because they always claim that, Republicans don't like people of color or black people or, people of different races. So this guy checks all the boxes. And I think the Republican Party would be foolish to, not recognize his talent. Every interview he gets on, I mean, they try to throw a question at him. They'll say, oh, well, what about this? And, let's pull up the video of you saying this and that. And he has a quick response. It's not a response where, he's waiting around or trying to deflect or, where he's all over the place. I mean, this guy, he's very good at giving a direct response, no matter what old videos they pull up, no matter, they always say, oh, well, you said this back, about Trump, a few weeks ago and this and that. He has a response for everything. And I like that. He's very quick on his feet, as they say. And I think, we're looking at a person who's very talented. And the Republican Party would be foolish to not recognize, what he's bringing to the table. If you look at all of the other candidates that are running for president, besides Donald Trump, who wants to vote for Tim Scott? Tim Scott is I call him a corporate Republican. You got Nikki Haley, another, corporate Republican. You have some folks that really don't excite people. Yes, they're running for president. And, they offer some unique perspectives, but we've seen those type of politicians before. And, again, besides Donald Trump, this guy would be an amazing spokesman or a leader for the Republican Party. I think he has it all. Again, the proof is in the pudding. When he gets on the debate stage, if they, start having debates and stuff. But from what I'm seeing is he's really on top of his game. And like I said, he checks all the boxes. They can't pull up, well, you don't know how to run a business or you've never been a leader because he's done that with the companies he's run. They can't pull up anything with his family because he's a married man. They can't pull up that he's, done anything criminal in the past. This guy checks all the boxes. And I really like what he's doing, his strategy, because a lot of times you have politicians that avoid going to certain media outlets and certain channels that are, maybe left wing, right wing. He's, if it's an interview with a person who's a liberal, he'll take it. If it's an interview with a person who's conservative, he'll take it. Like, he doesn't care. And I like that. I like somebody who's willing to go to battle, wherever he's at. I mean, you can put this guy, I think I even saw him, I think he did not an interview, but I think he went to a barbershop in Chicago or something like that. And he was, debating his ideas. And I really like that, because a lot of these politicians right now, they're scared to, debate and go on different TV channels and networks and talk to people that don't believe what they believe. Vivek will sit up and go on MSNBC. He'll go on Fox. He'll go on just anybody who wants to talk to this guy. He'll talk to them. And I really like that strategy. I like that he's not scared to, go to war. So you have to respect that. And I'm looking at some of the Republicans right now that are running for president besides Donald Trump. This is a horrible lineup of candidates on the Republican side. I mean, besides Donald Trump and Vivek, all of these guys are, men and women are, to me, just corporate Republicans. It's the same old, same old. It's almost, it'd almost be the equivalent of like Mitt Romney, the Mitt Romney type of Republicans. Like they talk to their advisors, and their advisors tell them what to say, and they're just so scripted and phony, and I mean, people can see through them. I mean, that's why, again, a lot of people were sitting up and praising Tim Scott and saying, well, Tim Scott should run for president, black Republican and all this other stuff, but people are seeing through the whole phony scripted answer, type of situation. When Tucker Carlson was interviewing some of these folks, I mean, they were just, on the Republican side, it's just like the typical politician where you can almost predict what comes out of their mouth. With Vivek, he can adapt, he can adjust. Like I said, he's like a Floyd Mayweather. Like Floyd Mayweather can get in the ring and you can be a power puncher. He can, adjust to this. He can, use his defense here and there. This guy can do the same thing. And it's rare that a person who's, just people in general, but I would say it's rare that you have people who are in the political world that can do that. And he's a rare breed. And I like that he's young. He appeals to the young generation. And when I look at, some of the events and stuff, you have older people that are starting to like this guy too. With Ron DeSantis, again, I think DeSantis has been effective as a governor. I mean, he's done some great things as a governor in the state of Florida. I mean, even though people are getting on him now, he's done some, great things in Florida. But as far as campaigning, he has no charisma. He doesn't want to, go to enemy territory and take interviews, with certain people. And, it's DeSantis is really sad, because DeSantis was that person where people said, well, after Donald Trump, this guy has shown leadership, he'll probably do great things in the Republican Party, but his campaign is just like this suffering right now. Doesn't want to take interviews. People can't get him on podcasts. And even that whole, situation where he was on Twitter, that screwed up when they tried to roll that out. So I really think Vivek is on his game right now. He knows how to adjust. He knows, like I said, he's very articulate, as they like to say, and he can debate his ideas very well. And again, I know I ramble sometimes, but this guy is a superstar in the Republican on the Republican side, and I think with some of his ideas, he would probably make a good president. They can't pull up the whole, he has no experience and leadership. Like, he has a solid resume. And some of these politicians, you go through their resume and it's just like you find something questionable over here, questionable over there. It's just, his resume is really solid. I mean, you can't talk about his leadership because from what I think it was Forbes or something like that. I mean, this guy's been successful and made great investments and stuff like that. Like, he's somebody that doesn't need the money. It's almost like Donald Trump. Like when you have politicians that don't need the money, they can say, sort of what they want to say. When you have some politicians that don't have the money, they're controlled by this interest group and this business and this corporation, like somebody that can fund, some of the ideas he's talking about. He's doing very well for himself. So Republicans need more people like this guy. And I know that there's more Republicans out there like him, but the Republicans need to find people like this, like Vivek, put him in leadership roles and get rid of some of the old Republicans. Some of those old corporate Republicans are the reason why, Republicans have lost some elections in these, states and stuff like that. People are tired of just phony scripted answer. It doesn't work anymore. Now we have the internet. Now we have information where we can look at different things, where we can, compare this candidate to that candidate. And, if you're not on your game right now, the way things are, you'll be exposed. I mean, the mainstream media does not control the narrative anymore. And I think that's what, why some of the Republicans that would normally do well right now aren't. I mean, if it were up to the mainstream media, we'd have Tim Scott would be number one. And, the what they want to put out and who they want us to vote for, that isn't working anymore. And that's great. And I really like that Vivek so far. He seems like a freedom of speech guy. And I can respect that. One of the things I have to say about the whole freedom of speech situation with some of these politicians, in America, if we're not allowed to say what we want to say, whether people like it or not, then we become like, some of these other countries. We become like a North Korea. And so any candidate that supports free speech, good or bad, they have my vote. And really, I'm just impressed. And I say that as a libertarian. I say that as somebody who used to be a former Democrat. I didn't change over to being a Republican. Now, I'm more of like I'm a libertarian, but I lean to the right. And if the Republicans keep on electing corporate Republicans, rhinos, then people are just going to, become independent. People are going to, again, I can't stress enough where the Republicans need to reach out to the young generation, get younger candidates, and just mix things up. And again, I know I'm rambling, but I just want to say that this guy is a future superstar in the Republican Party, and I think he's going to go on to do great things. And if he doesn't, win, put him in a leadership role. I mean, he would be better than what's that lady they have, Ronna McDaniel or something. I think she's related to Mitt Romney. Like, he would do a better job than someone like that. So again, I know I'm rambling. Please follow my podcast at you can follow me on Spotify. Just type in Mark Parham Podcast and follow me, and I'll pop up there. So anyway, have a great afternoon.